No need this one. Okay, so I go to the inventory models. Okay, like I said, we have an independent demand and also that dependent demand. Okay, independent demand is that the demand for that inventory is freely, okay, not depend to other item. Okay, dependent demand is that the demand for that item is depends to other inventory. Okay, so example independent and dependent demand. Okay, so let's say the company want to produce chair, let's say a chair. Okay, all right, so the number of chair to produce is independent demand. Okay, number of chair to produce is independent demand. Okay, all right, so you have to plan the inventory, that number of chair to produce. Let's say you want to produce 10 unit per day. Let's say example. Okay, so in 10 chairs per day is an independent inventory. Okay, because it's not depend to any other item. Okay, it depends to the customer demand. Okay, that's different lah. Sorry. Okay. Of course, overall inventory is depends to customer demand. Okay, but this is between inventory. Okay, so 10 chairs to 10 unit of chairs is independent demand. Okay, so however you want to plan about the the leg for that chairs, okay, then depends to number of chairs that you want to produce. Okay, each chairs, let's say, must have a 4 leg. Okay, so 4 legs. So number of chair legs that you want to order or you want to produce is depend to that. Okay, so 4 times 10 is 40. So you must produce and all the materials to produce that chair too must equal to 40. Okay, you can produce 40 legs. Okay, all right, so that is a dependent demand. Okay, so and chair legs is depend to a number of chairs to produce. Okay, all right, same as let's say what you want to produce a clothes. Okay, clothes. So how many clothes that you want to produce? Okay, you want to produce, let's say in 1 week you want to produce 100 units. Okay, 100 units. Okay, so then that is an independent demand. Okay, the number of clothes is not depend to any other inventory demands. Okay, however when you want to order the zip, the button, whatever is accessory, is depend to number of clothes that you want to produce. Okay, number of that t-shirt. So that is based, let's say button, you want to produce how many? 100. So each shirt or blouse must have a 5 button, 1 zip. So when you want to order that zip and button, it depends the number that you want to produce. Okay, so 100 zip to produce 100 clothes, and then 5 button for each clothes, each blouse. Instead you must order 500 buttons. Okay, so that is a dependent demand. Okay, so you must identify the inventory that you want to manage. Is it independent or dependent demand? Okay. All right, so before we go, that's inventory model. But like I said, for this learning purpose, okay, so we will only focus on independent inventory demand. Okay, all right. So before we go to the exact inventory models, okay, so first a few terms that you have to familiar. Okay, so in order to calculate the inventory. Okay, so first is a holding cost. Okay, holding cost is that the cost for company to hold that inventory or to carry that inventory. Okay, right, it's either you want to keep it in your company or you want to deliver it. Okay, during the carrying. Okay, so during all that cost, for all that cost is that we call it as a holding cost. Okay, all right, so holding cost is normally holding cost is per unit. Okay, per unit. Okay, so if you increase the number of quantity that you want to hold, so the cost for holding cost will increase together with the number of unit. Okay, ordering cost. Okay, cost to place an order and receive the goods. Okay, Right, so the ordering cost ni, when you want to order and also that you when during you receive the goods too, that is categorized as ordering cost. Ordering cost is normally based on per order. Okay, per order. So if you order less quantity, so ordering cost per unit will be high. Okay, higher compared to if you order more quantity per order, in one order you order more quantity, so ordering cost per unit will be less compared to if you order a few units only. Okay, right, so because ordering cost is per order. Okay, and next is setup cost. So normally setup cost is for production. Okay, because you have to set up your inventory. Okay, to prepare all the machines to produce. Okay, setup cost ni is a holding cost or sometimes it is to represent also the holding cost. Okay, so setup cost to prepare the machine. Okay. Alright, so if you increase the setup time, maybe the setup cost will increase. Okay, so this is normally we use in the EPQ, economic production quantity, but I will not discuss in this class. Okay, alright. Holding cost. Okay, so this is an example of holding cost or carrying cost. Okay. Okay, so holding cost or carrying cost ni is a vary. Okay, it depends to the type of business and also that location. Okay, and sometimes a holding cost ni in high tech or fashion they have higher in holding cost compared to other types of business. Okay, they must hold that the inventory more compared to other business. Okay, so this is the models that we will use that I will explain to you in this course. Okay, basic economic order quantity EOQ and also quantity discount model. Okay, not EPQ, sorry, POQ, production order quantity. The coordinator asked me not to discuss with you. Okay, so only these two will cover in the final exam. Okay, so I think that before I proceed in EOQ and quantity discount model, okay, we take a break about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, right? So I will continue at 10, 5 minutes. Okay, all right? Okay, we take a break. Okay, right. So we'll start. We'll continue now.
Yes, madam.
Okay. Okay, so now I will explain to you how to use the EOQ. So before that, you have to understand the assumption for EOQ model. Okay, so if you want to use the EOQ model, okay, so the quantity, the demand for the inventory is known. You know exactly the demand for the inventory. Okay, and it should be constant and independent to the other inventory or the other item. Okay, so demand known, constant, and independent. Alright, so next is the lead time. You know the lead time and also constant. Let's say lead time is the time when you order and you receive your order. Okay, when you, let's say you order today and you receive your items next 7 days. Okay, so lead time is 7 days. Okay, so the company should know that lead time. Okay, exactly. The supplier can mention the lead time. And also it's constant, means that if you the supplier said 7 days, so it should deliver within that 7 days. Okay, and it's constant lah. Cannot this time 7 days and next time 14 days and then 3 days. Okay, not. Okay, that's not constant. Okay, non-constant, you can use this EOQ. Okay, alright. So lead time known and constant. And then when you receive all the inventory that you order, you receive completely. Okay. You receive completely, means that if you order 100, then you will receive now 100. Cannot. You receive today after 7 days you receive only 50, and then the next day you receive another 50. Not like that. Okay. Alright. So when you receive it all completely. Okay. And also that in your queue, there's no quantity discount. You buy 100 also the same price, and you buy 1000 also same price. Okay. Okay, so variable cost that involved in this calculation in EOQ is only based on ordering cost and also holding cost. Okay, only two costs involved. And also the EOQ means that we consider that there will no stock out. Okay, there's no stock out lah. Try to avoid the stock out. Okay, alright. So this is the assumption when you want to use EOQ. Any of these that assumption is not relevant. Okay, let's say the lead time, you don't know the lead time and it's changed. Okay, regularly. So it means that you cannot use the EOQ. You have to fulfill all these assumption. Okay. Alright. So inventory. Okay. In EOQ is that order quantity, the quantity that you order and you receive. Okay, so this is in to visualize the EOQ, how is EOQ in this model. Okay, alright. So EOQ, when you order the quantity you order that quantity and then you will receive. Okay, so you will receive the item and receive all item based on that your order. And then you use all the inventory that you order, you use all. So when you use all the last inventory, then you will receive the new set of inventory, the same order, same amount. When you said you want to order 100 unit, so every time you order, you will order 100. Okay, alright. So when you receive all at once, okay, 100, then you will use for the certain period until finish, then you will receive that. Okay, alright. Okay, so this is average inventory, means that in the middle lah, so that is average inventory in hand. Okay, alright. So now I want to visualize the holding cost and also the inventory, the holding and ordering cost or setup cost. Okay. Alright, so remember that I said holding cost is based on units. Okay, so when you increase quantity for your inventory quantity, so the holding cost will increase. Okay, you can see the cost will increase when quantity order increase. Okay, positive relationship. Okay, increase order quantity will increase the annual cost. Okay, and then a setup cost is based on set ordering lah. In non production is ordering cost. So ordering cost is based on order. Okay, so if you order once, let's say ordering cost, okay, per order, okay, cost ordering cost per order, let's say 100, okay, $100. Okay, so if you order per order, so once you order, it costs you $100. Okay. So if you order at that period to 10 units only, okay, so ordering cost per unit is $10 per unit. Okay, so per order 100, and then at that time you order 10 units. Okay, so now if we divide 100 divided by 10, so it costs about $10 per unit for ordering cost. Okay, but let's say if you increase your number of order, you increase to 100. Okay, the ordering cost still remains same, okay, $100 per order, but now you order 100 units, okay, so now the ordering cost per unit will reduce, okay, to $1 per unit for ordering cost. Okay, right, that's why ordering costs have a negative relationship. Okay, when you increase the number of order, the cost per unit will reduce. Okay, the number increase the number or the quantity will reduce the cost per unit for per unit. Okay, all right, so then there is a total cost, okay, for both ordering cost and also holding cost. Okay, so this is like the green, the light green, the green color, this is total cost, okay, for ordering and holding cost. Okay, all right, so economically is they use economically, okay, but you can see after this, okay, you can see that at one point there's an intersection between ordering cost and holding cost here. Okay, so in this intersection, okay, Q here, okay, and this intersection is that ordering cost equal to holding cost. Okay, at this point, ordering cost equal to ordering cost equal to holding cost. Okay, and also that economically, okay, they use a theory economy. Okay, at this point is the lowest total cost. Okay, at the point which is ordering cost equals to holding cost here at the intersection in the graph. Okay, so holding cost equal the ordering cost. At this point, this is the lowest total cost. Okay, quantity. Okay, so at one point, at one certain number of quantity, ordering cost equals to holding cost. That is the minimum total cost. Okay, so this is what we call a optimal order quantity, the economy order quantity at this point. Okay, when ordering cost equal to holding cost. Okay, and okay, holding cost equals to ordering cost. Okay, that is the lowest atau the minimum total cost, and that's where the optimal order quantity, because at the end of the day, when we use a cost as a measurement, we want to minimize the total cost. Okay, total inventory. Okay, so total cost for inventory. Okay, so how to calculate the total inventory cost? At point which when holding cost equals to ordering cost. Okay, all right.
Hello,
yes.
Doctor. Sorry.
Yes.
My friend disconnected because of internet connection. Can you?
I want to enter. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Miss. Thank you, ma'am.
Can you ask your friend to try to rejoin now?
Okay, Miss.
Because I cannot see, I cannot in Meet. I don't know how to identify which area.
I already joined, doctor. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a problem connection before. Sorry.
I don't know how to set up that. If you want to rejoin, then you can automatically rejoin. Okay, later I have to study about this. Okay, how can students when disconnect can rejoin without the admission in Zoom? You can do that. Okay, there's a setting in Zoom. Okay. Okay, so alright, so this is how to minimize the cost. Okay, so optimal order at the point which when is optimal order size or the quantity. Okay, that is the point where we'll minimize the total cost. Okay, alright, optimal order quantity when holding cost and setup costs are equal. Okay, so this is when at the point where it's minimized. Okay, when you minimize the sum of setup, ordering and holding costs, so the total costs are minimum. Okay. Okay, so any reduction in either cost, either holding or ordering cost will reduce the total cost. Okay, so but the thing that you should remember is that okay, this is one EOQ when the minimum total cost. Okay. And also that optimal order quantity when holding costs are equals to setup cost. Okay. Alright, so now we want to start the calculation part. Okay, so I hope that you remember these 2 points. Okay, optimal order quantity happen when the minimum total inventory cost. Okay, so when is it the optimal order quantity? When holding cost equals to ordering cost. Okay. Okay, so now we go to the calculation. How we can start the calculation? First, I introduce you the annual ordering actually. Okay, sorry. Because in this case, we don't use setup is normally for production. Okay, ordering. Sorry lah. My writing is really horrible. Okay, I hope that you can read that. Okay, so annual ordering cost. Okay. So number of orders placed per year times by setup or order cost per order. Okay. Alright. So this is the that you should remember. Okay. The variables. Okay. So Q is for Q star is optimal order quantity. Q is number of units per order. Okay, and D is annual demand. So you should get the information about annual demands for that demand for that item. And then ordering cost. Okay, ordering cost. S is for ordering cost. And then H is for holding or carrying cost. Okay. Alright. So because we will use the same formula for EPQ. That's why S is for setup or ordering cost. Okay. In EOQ, normally we use as ordering cost lah. Okay. Alright, so how you can get the formula to calculate the annual ordering cost? When you get the annual demand, divide by number of units in each order, and also times by number of order, and then times by setup or ordering cost. Okay. Alright, so when you replace with the variable, we get D divided by Q. Okay, annual demand divided by quantity. Quantity which is referred to EOQ and times by S. Okay, means that when you want to calculate the total cost, you should get the Q first. But before you get Q, then I will show you how you can get the Q. Okay, later on. Okay, so this is the formula for annual setup cost. Okay, so you should remember this. Okay, so next is annual holding cost. Okay, so annual holding cost is the average inventory level and average here is average times by holding cost per year. Okay, and the formula is the same. Okay, so when you replace to the variable, Q divided by 2 times by H holding cost per unit. Okay, so this is formula for holding cost and annual cost. Okay, for 2. Then if you want to get the EOQ, okay, to get the number of EOQ, okay, so EOQ when annual setup, ordering cost, annual ordering cost equals to annual holding cost. Okay, remember that the first new principles two things that I asked you to remember. EOQ is the minimum total cost, and also the EOQ is that ordering cost, annual ordering cost equals to annual holding cost. Okay, alright, so annual ordering cost equal to annual holding cost. When we replace with this formula, remember how to calculate the annual setup cost, ordering cost and annual holding cost. We put it in the formula here and you do a derivation to get the Q, then you will get, this is the formula to get EOQ. Originally from these principles, annual setup cost equals to annual holding cost. After you do a derivation, then you will get this new form. Get Q equals to square root of D2S divided by H. Okay, this is how you can calculate the EOQ. Okay, so for optimal order quantity. Okay, so this is a formula to calculate the EOQ. Okay, when we put that in all the formula that required to order for this inventory, optimal order quantity, like I showed previously, number sometimes then we want to check number of orders annually. Okay, demand, annual demand divided by order quantity. Order quantity ni is when you want to order how many quantity that you should order. Okay, so the demand is demand annual, D is annual demand. Okay, so every time when you want to order how many quantity that you should order, so that you can minimize the total inventory cost. Okay, so that's what you want to identify in this EOQ. Okay, want to identify how many order you should how many quantity you should order every time that you want to order. Okay, so it should constant. Remember, it should constant. You cannot change that. After you get the Q value, Q amount, then you should order based on that amount only. Okay, and then maybe you want to identify the number of orders annually. Okay, so annual demand divided by number of you will order number of quantity that you will order. Okay. Alright, and then maybe sometimes you want to calculate the expected time between the orders. Okay, the expected time. So after you order, then when is it the next time you will order? Okay, 52 days ke, 50 days ke, 60 days ke, 150 days ke? No. Okay, annually. Okay. Alright, so number of how to calculate that? Number of working days. You have to identify number of working days per year and divide by expected number of orders is one. Okay. This is N. Okay, and then total cost. This is total cost from previous. Okay, so from previous slide. Okay, this is D divided by Q times S plus this is ordering cost, annual ordering cost, and annual holding cost. Okay, total cost, ordering cost, annual ordering cost plus the annual holding cost. Okay, so this is a formula that relevant in this new chapter. Okay, alright, so now we go to the example here. Okay, this example, simple example. A company that market painless hypodermic needles to hospital. Okay, would like to reduce its inventory cost by determining the optimal number of hypodermic needles to obtain per order. Okay, identify number of inventory per order. The annual demand is 1,000 units. The setup or ordering cost is $10 and the holding cost per unit is 50 cents. Okay. The Sharp Incorporation has 250 working days. Okay. Alright, so now this is all the information that we get. So take it out the relevant information. Okay, so annual demand is 1,000. What is it? It's D. D is 1,000. Okay. Ordering cost is $10. Ordering cost is S. S is $10. Okay, and then holding cost is 50 cents. Sharp Incorporation has a 250 days working 250 day working year. Sorry. Macam tu pun. Ni bro. Okay, working day. Alright. So now first, the question asks you to calculate the optimal order quantity. Okay, so A, optimal order quantity. So refer to the previous formula, optimal order quantity, we should refer to the first formula. Q equals to square root 2 ds divided by H. Is it me? Am I still in the room?
Yes,
Hello?
Doctor.
Okay. Okay, so Q to calculate the order quantity is Q equals to 2 ds divided by H. Okay, so equals to 1,000 times 10 divided by 0.50. Okay, someone calculate, try to get the value. $200. Okay, so every time the company, this Sharp Incorporation ni want to order, they should order 200 unit needles. Okay. Alright, so every time they order 200 needles, and B, want to identify the expected number of order. Okay, number of order. Okay, in 1 year. Number of order, how to calculate number of order? Here, expected number of order here, demand divided by order quantity. Okay. And equals to demand 1,000 divided by order quantity 200 equals to 5 times, kan? 5. Okay. So it's a 5 time number of order 5 times per year, okay, to order. And then C is expected time between the order, So what is the formula for expected time between the order? Expected time T, number of working days per year divided by expected number of order. Okay, so T expected time between order equals to number of working days is 250. So 250 divided by 5. Yeah, right? 5 50 kan?
Yes.
Yes, betul.
Yeah, okay. $50. Okay, this is 5 times. Ini units. Okay, I hope you can read my handwriting. Okay, units. Okay. Alright, and then D is total cost. Okay, TC equals to, what is the formula for TC? Okay, so TC total cost D divided by Q times S plus Q divided by 2 times H. Okay, so D demand 1,000. 1,000 divided by 200 times S $10 plus 200 divided by 2 times 0.5. Okay. What I want you to do, please calculate this and this. Okay. Then after that the total. Okay. This and this first. Give me the value. I want this value and the value for this one.
40 betul.
Huh?
40.
40 and 40.
40. Only 40.
No. This one, how?
This one, right side.
1,000 divided by 200 times by 10 is 40. Betul ke?
Yes.
Betul ke?
50.
Ah,
See.
Oh, sorry.
50 plus
50 juga.
50. Okay. So equals to 100 cost here. Okay. So remember that the principles here, when you refer to the graph, the principle EOQ at which point? At the point that holding cost equals to ordering cost. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright, so holding cost equals to ordering cost. Nampak tak? You can see the numbers here. Ini equals to here. Okay. So if you want to check whether when you calculate the EOQ, your Q ni is correct or not, when you calculate the total cost, both value must be same. Okay. But if you have a quite high volume, let's say in thousands ke, in 10,000s ke kan. So there's probability that they are different a little bit only. Let's say once is 9,000 and then ordering cost is about 8,950. There's this possibility that a little bit difference, but it's almost equals to. Okay, but if only 10, 100, you should get the same amount. So means that your Q is correct. Okay, all right. So to prove that your Q is correct, that when you calculate the total cost, ordering equals to holding cost. Okay, if you get the different number, then there's a possibility your Q is wrong. Okay? Alright, okay. Any question here? Can we do it? Okay, this is the answer. Okay, so sometimes when you want to calculate the EOQ, okay, maybe you want to include also the product cost for product. Okay, in certain situation, if the question give you the cost for product, then maybe you will include the cost for product is P times by annual demand. Okay, if there is information if then necessary that you should include. Normally, when we include the product cost, we will use it in the quantity discount model. Okay, so in quantity discount model, you should include the product cost itself. Okay, all right. And then we calculate that's you already get the points, the quantity for company to orders, the most optimal order quantity. Okay, 200 and then 200 units, and then you get a total cost is $100. Okay, so next is reorder point. Okay, so reorder point, the EOQ to answer how much to order. Okay, and reorder point is when to order. When is it? Okay, so when to order is depends to the lead time. Okay, that's why lead time in the EOQ, the order point is still in under EOQ. Okay, so in EOQ, you remember that the second assumption is that you should know the lead time and also it's constant. Okay, so that then you can identify exactly when the company should reorder the inventory. Okay, all right. Lead time is very important here. Okay, so to calculate the reorder point, ROP is a reorder point. Okay, so then you have to identify the demand per day. How you can get the demand per day? Annual demand here, divide by number of working days in a year. Okay, so let's say if not provided the number of working days in a year, not mentioned. Okay, so what you can do is that just divide by 365. Okay, we consider that they work a whole day in 1 year. Okay, 365. If there is no information in that particular problem, so just divide by 365. Okay. Alright, so demand per day will times by lead time. Okay, lead time for new order. Okay, so just to visualize, okay, this is how it's work. Okay, so you will order, let's say this is 200. Okay, so 200 in the previous one, so 200 quantity Q here. Okay, so once you will receive once here, and then you will use all your inventory, and then until that you will get a new inventory. So how you can identify when you complete all the inventory, then you will receive a new one. So it based on the reorder point. Okay, so this is the reorder point, the point in which you should receive here. That's why lead time is important, because the point here, it depends to the lead time. If the lead time more, maybe the reorder point, the point to reorder will higher compared to the lower lead time. Okay, all right. Just visualize. You don't have to draw that works. Okay, so now we go to the example here. Okay, so Apple Store has a demand for 8,000 iPhone per year, so annual demand. The firms operate at 250-day working a year. On average, delivery of an order takes 3 working days, but has been known to take as long as 4 days. Okay, the store wants to calculate the reorder point without a safety stock, and then with a 1-day safety stock. Okay, so ada 1-day safety stock. Okay, so how then we can calculate this? Okay, so based on 3 days. Okay, let's say based on the 3 days here. Sorry. Okay, so the demand 8,000. divide, and then number of working days is 250. Okay. So then you can calculate the daily demand. Okay. So how to calculate the daily demand? 8,000 divided by 200. So you can get the daily demand is 8,000 divided by 200.
40.
40?
But divide by 250, right?
250. Calculate.
32.
32.
Dia cakap masuk longkang, awak pun masuk longkang. Okay, aduh. What's wrong ni? Apa ni? Oh, okay. Aku belum pula pen ni. Okay lah. I already prepare the slide here. Okay. 330 days. Okay. So the daily demand is 322 units per year. 22 units. Aduh, kenapa dia keluar dah bawah? Okay, so for 3 days, let's say for 3 days, working lead time for 3 days. Okay, so the company should order 69 units. Okay, 32 daily demand lead times by number of lead time 3 days, 96 unit. Okay, the reorder point. Okay, if you want to have safety stock, let's say in case sometimes 3 days, sometimes 4 days. Okay, it may take to 4 days. Okay, so if you consider 4 days, so the company should order 120 at a point 125 units. Okay, means that when your order, when you use all the order up to 96 units, then you should reorder again. Okay, I go back to the diagram here. Okay. So in this diagram, okay, so you don't know what is the EOQ, the Q here, okay, because you don't calculate the Q here. Okay, so if you don't want to have a safety stock, okay, so then you just order at the 96 unit. Okay, so 96 unit here. So when you order, you use all until 96. Then at the point 96, so you should send the reorder. Okay. So how many you should order? Based on number of queue. Okay. You should reorder at that point. Reorder based number of that queue tu yang you already calculate queue number. Okay. Alright. But until 96, then you order. But if you want to have a safety stock in case the supplier deliver after 4 days, okay, only 4 days, not 3 days. Okay, so if you want to have a safety stock, then you can increase the reorder point up to here to 128. Okay, so when your inventory reach until 128, then the company should reorder. How many should they reorder? Based on number of queue, economic order quantity. Okay, alright, so that is the reorder point. Okay, so I think I will continue tomorrow with the quantity discount model. Okay, we cannot finish today. So any question regarding EOQ or reorder point?
No, madam.
No. Okay. So if you don't have any question, then I see you next week lah, tomorrow. Okay. Next week cuti semester break, isn't it?
Yes.
Next week is a semester break. Alright. Okay. Okay, bye-bye everyone. Have a nice day. I'll see you again tomorrow.
Madam,
Yes?
Okay,
saya nak
madam.
tanya.
Yes.
Yang pasal assignment tu boleh?
Boleh.
Okay, yang pasal part suggestion scope tu, kita kena pilih dulu ke ataupun kita kena interview dan kita selesaikan masalah tu ikut scope?
Oh, dia either one pun boleh juga, dia macam ni. Tapi my suggestion is that you interview dulu, you tahu apa dia punya you can see that where area that you can improve, baru you boleh pilih scope. Kalau you tiba-tiba je nak main pilih scope, you tak tahu pun, you don't know the situation for that company. So it's quite difficult lah. Tengok you kata, let's say lah you nak suggest to how improve dia punya quality contoh kan. Tengok dia quality dia dah okay dah pun. Then how you nak improve pun kan. Okay. So interview dulu, tanya then can see dia punya area tu. So baru you pilih scope. Macam tu lah biasanya when we want to do a community ke business ke, kita kena interview dulu.
Alright, thank you madam.
Okay. Alright, semua progress okay ke? How about your progress? Sorry, ni pula. Okay, how about your progress for assignment?
Saya hujung minggu ni baru dia free untuk interview dia.
Oh, you interview face to face ke apa?
Tak guna Zoom je.
Okay, tak apa, guna Zoom tak apa. Kalau face to face, be careful lah ni. Yang lain, others? Tak ada, semua okay So harap semua okay lah. I think we can finish kita punya syllabus ni earlier, so should be no problem to start the presentation in week 13. Okay. Alright, if there's no more question, then I think that's all. I will wait here until 11 a.m. So if someone want to ask me personally, then you can wait until that. Okay. Alright. Okay. Bye bye. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you madam.
Thank you, madam.
Welcome.